There is a balm in Gilead, but there is also a fly in the ointment, and its ass end reeks of bunk. So, dinner's done. Dinner's finished. So, basically, lately, I guess what I would say is this is I guess I've just been conscious of my thoughts lately and accepting what's good that comes into my mind and not listening to the BS, you know? Do I have thoughts sometimes that, let's say, other people may think are bad, but I actually deep down know that they're intentionally good, and I know the source that they're coming from is a source that's trying to get me to possibly, what's the word? How am I trying to say this? Go in the paths. It's a hard word to say. Paths. The paths, or path, whatever, that lead to positive things in my life, or go to the paths that are negative. See, what I'm learning to do is distinguish what's negative and what's positive. And 98% of the time, I pretty much just have to be myself to do what's positive and to do what's actually right. Pretty much I just have to be myself. Is this thing on? Yeah. So basically, I'm gonna rant today about how, like, when you dream, right? How you sometimes concepts that are in your mind that are like, what do you call it? I guess harmful to your psyche, like things that are ingrained in your psyche that don't make any sense really in reality. And the funny thing is, by the time that you wake up, you actually realize that, like, you're only focusing on something because it's traumatic to you or whatever, you know? So, it's kind of like this, man. It's kind of like, you ever been, like, going to sleep and then you start drifting off, right? And you start getting into good rest. But then you, after enough time, you've trained yourself to catch. You've trained yourself to catch when you have a certain thought. And the funny thing is, me personally, I wake right up. something, not all the time, but more or less, when I catch that thought and I start to tell myself like, don't even think about that, like don't even buy into that thought, then I usually wake right up. Make sure my food. Hold on one second. Let me make sure my food's not getting cold. Had to make sure my food wasn't getting too cold. But if you ever wonder why I'm sniffing all the time, it's not because I do cocaine. It's because I always got a runny nose. It's too cold, man. My nose doesn't handle this this cold too well. It always wants to run. So, it's like I was dreaming, and then the funny thing is, I kept realizing all the dumb shit that always tries to weave its way into my mind, and then like the weird thing is when you're in the midst of this dream and you're caught up in the middle of it, it seems so vivid that you actually may believe some of the emotional things you tell to yourself when you wake up. And see, you have to realize that like when you wake up, that half of that is just your imagination, and it's just your mind. Okay. And I'm not talking about like so basically I'm saying I'm not talking about something that in your mind is right, but it's a harsh decision. So your mind is trying to like push you to make a right decision, but it's so alien that you're trying to rationalize and say that it's wrong, even though it's really right. But your subconscious and everything that's like spiritual is trying to push you to make that decision. I'm not talking about that. And you're just the idiot who's sad to say idiot, but you're the idiot who's just kind of like maybe resisting those thoughts that are really what's going to get you what you want. It could be something that's going to help you, but you're resisting it for whatever reason. Not that. I'm talking about things that are like a default thing that's ingrained and programmed in your mind. That like maybe you know, you struggle with, and it's something bad that you want to get rid of. So what I was gonna say is, for me, a lot of times what helps is simply consciously catching little thoughts. When little thoughts try to lead into like you know, making this big picture that I know is like bullshit, but it just seems like something I'm just so used to, almost to the fact where I've accepted it almost because it's just a default. What I've been doing lately is training myself to abandon those thoughts and put them in the place of the bullshit box. Like they're bullshit. Don't buy into it. Don't take it as like it's truth. Don't take it as like it's sound logic. Don't take it as like it's some be all end all. Take it as it's bullshit and put it where it's supposed to be. If that makes any sense. So maybe that's a weird rant. Maybe that's a crappy rant. I just heard something, so that's why I stopped. But maybe, what's the word I'm looking for? But it's all about that algorithm, man. It's about the algorithm. So